Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Mostly Programming. My name is Vivek Garg and this is lesson 25 of learning Python scripting from scratch. In today's video, we are going to discuss the math module in Python. The scope for today's lesson is we are going to see what the math module is, what are various methods in the math module, the math constants, the aliasing concept. It is a very important concept, please pay attention, and some important math methods. So without any further ado, let's get started. But before that, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do that right now because it's free. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss an update from Mostly Programming. Do not forget to follow us on Instagram. It is @mostlyprogramming. So let's get started. Math module. Python has a built-in module that can be used for mathematical tasks. For example, there is a square root method in the math module to find square root of a number. There is a power method to find power of a number. Similarly, there are many such math methods which are inside the math module, which can be used for the performance of mathematical tasks, which can be used for performing various mathematical tasks. So, what are the various methods that we have in the math module? The number one is math.sqrt, the square root method. This method returns the square root of x. Math.ceil, this rounds a number upwards to the nearest integer and returns the result. For example, if we have a number x is equal to 4.1 and we use this math.ceil of 4.1, then it would return us 5. Similarly, we have floor, which rounds a number downwards to the nearest integer. For example, if it is 4.9, the floor method would return us 4. Similarly, we have power. Math.power x, y returns the value of x to the power y. Math.radians x convert degrees to radians. All trigonometric functions like sin x, tan x, sin hyperbolic x, etc. Also, we have various logarithmic functions. For example, math.log 10x, which would return base 10 log value of x. Let's see all these on PyCharm now. Let's go to PyCharm and let's see how to use the math module. First, similarly we did in the earlier videos, we imported the random module. Similarly here we have to import the math module. So what we would do is we would write import math. It's done. You can see we have imported the math module. When we will run this, we would see that no error is there in the code. That means the math module has been successfully imported to the program. Then what we will do is, for example, we want to perform the ceil operation, ceil method. Then what we would do is x is equal to math dot ceil of 5.3. Then I would print x. Let me just do this. The ceil operation would round up it to the upper integer. For 5.3 it would be 6. Similarly, if I want to perform here the floor, that would round it up to 5, the lower integer, as you can see. Similarly, we can use the square root method to find square root of a number. For example, square root of 5 would be 2.236067 and so on. Similarly, we have the power method, which is used to find the power of a number. For example, here power x, y would return x to the power y. That means here we would get 5 to the power 3, which is 5 into 5 into 5, that is 125. So we would get 125 here. Okay, so that was the basic 4 methods that we use. We also have some other methods. We have the tan x and sin x, sin hyperbolic x method. Let's use those. Sine of 98 Let's see what is sine of 98. It is minus 0.573 degrees. Okay, so let's now take hyperbolic function sine hx. So the sine hyperbolic of 98 is 1.818. Similarly, we can use the tan x math dot tan 98, that would be 0.69985 and so on. So we discussed all these methods. We discussed the square root method, we discussed the Ceil method, the floor method, the power method, the radians method convert degrees to radians, the trigonometric functions like sin x, tan x, sine hyperbolic x, and the log returns based and log of x, right? The next is math constants. Now we know what is the value of pi. It is 3.14, but that's not it. We don't know the complete value of pi. It is 3.1415 and so on. So in the math module, we already have the constants defined. For example, we have the Euler's number E defined, the pi defined, tau defined. So we don't have to remember these values. We have to simply use this constant which is already defined in the math module. For example, math.e returns Euler's number 2.7182 and so on. Math.pi would return pi, and math.tau would return the value of tau. Let us see on the PyCharm itself. So what I would do is import the math module. Okay, then what I would do is print math.py, then math.tau, then math.e. Let us print all these together. So we would get all these values. So you can see that this has so many numbers, so many integers after the decimal place. So it is very difficult to remember this. So what we can do is, inside the math module, we already have these defined. So what we have to do is simply use them. Math.py would return us the value of the pi, math.tau would return us the value of the tau, and math.e would return us the Euler's number. I hope this is clear now. So we generally use these three constants. There are other two constants as well. You can get the documentation on the official website. So generally we use these three constants in the math module. Aliasing. Now there is a problem. Let me go back to PyCharm. See here, each time when I'm using anything from the math module, I would have to write math.py, math.tau, math.e, which is a little irritating and time consuming. So I want something like, I don't have to use the complete word, the keyword math. Instead, I can call it maybe some variable named A, B, C, or anything like that. So aliasing comes here to rescue us. So what basically is aliasing? I would show you. Aliasing refers to a situation where same memory location can be accessed using different names. That means we can access the same math module but with the different name. How to do that? It's pretty simple. Import math as m. This as would change the name of the variable, the math keyword here, sorry, not variable, the math keyword here. So m.sqrt now would return us 3. So instead of writing math again and again, we can simply write now m. Let me show you. Import math as m. Then what I would simply do is import math as m. Then what I would simply do here is print m.sqrt of say 90. Then this would return me the square root of 90, and that I don't have to write that math.sqrt again and again. Simply I could simply write m. So aliasing is a very important concept in Python. The next topic here is importing some of the methods. Now there may be a case where you don't need all the methods from the math module. Instead you need only some of the methods. You don't want to import all the methods from the math module, but only the square root method, right? So how to do that? It is pretty simple. What we have to do is from math import whatever methods that you want to import, then print those methods. And see, I imported the square root, ceil and power method, but here inside the print statement I have written square root, power, ceil and floor method. So it would raise us a traceback because the floor method is not defined here. We have not imported the floor method. You can see name floor is not defined because we have not imported it. So let me show you how we can import some of the methods from the math module. What we have to do is use the from keyword. From math import Sqrt, or if you want to import any other method, you can simply write it after this, separated by commas and power. Then inside here what we would write, print. So we imported from math, we imported the square root and power function. Then how we would write it here as Sqrt and in the brackets 33. Similarly power, and in the brackets we would write 2, 3. We don't have to mention math.sqrt here because here we are importing only some of the functions from the math module, methods from the math module. So here you can see that this is working fine. But what if I use another method which I have not imported, for example the ceil method, and I am writing the 3.4, then let me run this. So we would get a name error because ceil is not defined. We have not imported ceil from the math module. So if there is a case where you need to use only some of the methods from the math module, you can import only those methods, and then there would be no need to write math dot the method name. You can simply call that method. Advantage, right? That's a pretty big advantage, that we don't have to use the aliasing concept. We don't have to write math.sqrt again and again. What if you need to what if you need to import all the methods? What we would do then, we would just add from math import star. Those who know a little bit about DBMS and SQL would understand this pretty easily. This is the concept used in SQL while writing queries. From math import star would mean from math import everything, all the modules. So let me now run this. See, now we don't have to write math.sqrt, math.power, math.ceil here. Instead, using this method from math import star, the need to write math.sqrt, math. The method name eliminates. Importing the math modules like this, the need to write math.sqrt eliminates. So it is always better to write it in this way instead of directly importing the math module, because in that method we have to write math dot again and again, or even if we are using the aliasing concept, we would have to write the variable name again and again. So like this you can import all the methods from the math module and you don't have to use the math dot or the variable name dot thing, right? I hope this is clear to you now. Let's go back to the presentation. So importing some of the methods, we know how to import some of the methods from the math module now. The next topic is importing all the methods. I have already discussed this. From math import star would mean that import everything, all the methods from the math module. So I hope the concepts are now clear to you. If you have any type of queries, feel free to ask me in the comment section below. Or you can also DM me on my social media accounts. The link to those will be in the description box itself and are also present here on the screen. You can follow us on Instagram. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Also share with your friends and subscribe to my channel because your subscriptions give me motivation to make more such videos. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more amazing content.